Welcome back to Sean's show. I'm here with George. Hello. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you're having a wonderful week. We have an incredible amount of news to get to. If you're a new listener, hello. Thank you for joining. We are the definitive news. You hear that? The cops in the background. We are going to jail. We are going to jail. Lots of people in the stories that we are talking about today should be going to jail, and they're not. They're actually in positions of power. But that's what we do here. So let's get into it. Let's get right into it. Our first story: Texas is underwater, not just financially, but physically. It's very sad. It's a very sad day to hear what's going on in Texas with the floods. It's just a fucking tragedy. It's a tragedy, and it's really hard. It's really hard to make sense. I almost don't even want to talk about this, guys, because it's just so hard to like be funny, try to make it funny. But I'm gonna do my best, and as I've always said, I'm not doing this to make you laugh. I'm doing this to factually report the news. Everything I say on the show is factually true. My number one goal is always, it's off screen, but I have an entire team of journalists and analysts that sort of go through every story, and they make sure that what I tell you is factually true. So with that in mind, a massive flood has hit Joe Rogan's comedy club and has drowned. That is the story. No, that's not the story. I would like to perform there. Don't ban me. Don't get me banned from there. Don't clip this up and ban me. I would love to go. Hi, hello. So there's this flood. Reason number 9 million to not live in fucking Texas, right? I mean, let me just tell you the headline. As floods hit, key roles, listen to this, key roles were vacant at Weather Service offices in Texas. This is from the New York Times. Some experts say staff shortages might have complicated forecasters' ability to coordinate responses with local emergency management officials. Now, the New York Times is being very polite because what's the real situation, said in plain English, is this. There's one guy in Texas who probably works out of a trailer who goes outside with a fucking, I don't know, one of those like things that float. What are those things they put on the buildings? The things that, a weather spoon?
Weather vane.
A weather vane. This is the New York Times is being very polite. They're going, hey, first of all, over 100 people are dead. And a lot of them are little girls. I fucking almost cried when I read about this shit. So don't come at me saying that I'm being insensitive by joking about it. My jokes and my takes here are not going to be at the expense of the dead little girls. That's a fucking tragedy. But that doesn't mean that the other people in this situation are actually very deserving of ridicule. So I just want to say that up top. But the New York Times says, look, this is Texas. I lived in Texas for 3 years. Texas hates big government. And I'm not talking about like Texas is the most libertarian state in the union. Like the South, a lot of the South, the actual proper South, like Alabama, Arkansas. I Sure Love My Mom and Pa. That's a song by that indie hippie band. There's like 5 indie bands that go, hey, ho. There's the song parody. I went to camp in Aberdeen. Whoa, my government failed me. I'm never gonna get it. I'm never coming up for air. Whoa, I'm never gonna breathe again. Whoa. The National Weather Service failed me now. I'm an 8-year-old girl at a camp. Whoa. I don't know what FEMA is, but they killed me. Whoa. Please don't wake me now because I'm in a coma because I asphyxiated because of the government. That's the story. the proper South, the South, in a lot of sense, in the real. Sorry, I'm very caffeinated right now, guys. The proper South, Alabama, Alaska, those are the states that think that they don't like big government and they don't like the federal government getting involved in their shit. But they actually do when it comes to like farming subsidies. And like they actually do take a lot of federal government money. And there's a bunch of defense contractors in the South, military weapons companies, the military, and they actually like the big government. But Texas stands on business in all the wrong ways because Texas is like, we don't like big government. Like they're not talking about like, you know, like actual when you think of red tape, when people say red tape, government red tape, people think of like unnecessary filings, you know, things that make it hard to start a business, you know, like actual administrative government bureaucracy that it rightfully probably shouldn't exist in a lot of situations where it's like, why is the government involved in this thing? Again, I'm not a conservative, but there are things, red tape exists in certain industries, sure. But Texas looks at like life and death infrastructure, life and death things that people's lives depend on. And they decide that it's and this is at the federal, we'll talk about the federal level as well, but they decide that it doesn't make sense to fund it. It's a waste of our tax dollars. Texas thinks we should let the private sector solve this problem. We should and that's what I thought when I read this story. I was like, where the fucking hell is the free market when you need it? That's what I thought. I saw this story about these massive floods that are very hard to predict hit this Camp Mystic. And, you know, after I cried because of all these people that had died from this flood, I thought to myself, you know, how can as an entrepreneur, you know, how can I step in and add value? That's what I thought. All these people died in this flood, and these cars and trees got shattered, and things. The floods. If you see the video of the floods, this is not like a water slide. Like this is like you're dead. Like you're waking up in your bedroom, and your bedroom is gone, and you're under a tree branch goes through your neck, and you die. Like that's what it's a biblical flood. Kind of ironic because Texas loves God, but it's a biblical. God works in mysterious ways. Let's not forget that this is an act of God. It kind of is an act of God, or is it an act of the Antichrist? Peter Thiel, go watch the last episode. That was a deep cut. So no, I saw this story, and you know, as an entrepreneur, I thought, how can I step in and prevent this from happening again? And so I actually have raised $5 million for my startup. It's called Flood Alert. It's two things. Well, you know, people ask me all the time, what is my company, Flood Alert? What does it do? Well, it's two things. Number one, it's an OnlyFans competitor. So we're actually we have that's what the free market does. The free market comes in and they're like, I can solve your problem. And they're like, please, like my girl is about to die. My little baby girls are going to die. You're like, okay, hold on. We're the free market. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm financially motivated to save your life. This is capitalism, you know? So I'm coming in and I'm going to save your life. It's a company. It's called Flood Alert. Yes, that sounds like exactly what we need. Do I give you money? How does this work? Well, are you willing to pop your pussy on the internet? Well, wait, what? So it's actually two things. Flood Alert, flood fans. Flood fans. It's actually a combo. See, what we always thought is people that are about to die from a flood are really horny. So we've actually merged two business ideas, and it's going to be, and this is the power of the free market, is it lets people like me come in and solve a problem and add value. And so what we're going to do is we're going to launch a digital platform where women can interact with fans, and sometimes in a sexual nature. And then the sister business unit, this is all one business called Flood Fans. The sister business is going to be a weather infrastructure where we take in a bunch of weather data and we have a bunch of very intelligent AI analysts to analyze it and predict, and we're going to coordinate with local governments to flood alert people about floods. It's basically digital prostitution flood alert combo. I've raised $20 million from Silicon Valley venture capitalists, and we're excited that it's going to probably debut in 2028, which is an exciting, I know this happened today, but it'll take us 3 years to get off the ground. So in that time, I would recommend not dying in a flood. That's like, I feel like the response to this has been like, hey, what we recommend, like the flood is like still happening. The flood is like, it's like still flooding. And the authorities have come in and they're like the parents of these dead children are like, who is accountable for that? Like, I mean, imagine losing your fucking little child. Like Texas dads. You want to talk about God? The Lord have mercy on whoever has to be the person to talk to these Texas fathers that lost their little girls. I mean, Texas fathers, you know what I mean? Not only that, girl dads. These Texas fathers, they're Texas fathers, so they're traumatized. They probably were molested in Catholic Church. They grew up with, they have American pride. They love this country. They're very bullheaded. They're strong. They're stupid, but they're protectors and they have good hearts. A lot of them, and they lost their little girls in these floods. Lord help the people that have to tell these girl dads in Texas what happened and why it happened and who's accountable. If I was a Texas dad and I lost my little girl in this flood, I'd probably launch a startup called Flood Fans. I lost a little girl. Okay, sorry, that's bad. So why? Everyone, this happened. 100 people just died. This is not, what year is it? This is 2025. It's 2025 and people are dying in biblical floods. What the fuck is going on? It's 2025. We have AI porn. We have internet money. And then we also have flying cars. It's called an airplane. People are always like, oh, we should have had flying cars by now. It's like, it's called an airplane. Dumbass. It's like, okay. That's what a flying car. All right. But it's the future. We live in the future, and hey, this was not my line, but it was the best of times. It was the worst of times. That's what this is. You see stories like this and you wonder, how can one of the wealthiest countries in the world allow a little bit of water to kill 100 fucking people? How do we let this happen? Everyone wants to know why. And the answer is fuck you. When you ask why, the answer is fuck you. Why did this happen? Fuck you, man. What about the little girls? You're gonna, and that does kind of upset me. It's like, sometimes this is a very tough story to cover, and I'm doing an excellent job. So just so you know, I'm dodging all of the little criticism. This is a tough story to cover. It's tough to talk about. And I'm not immune to that. I'm a human being too. I have sympathy. I have a lot of sympathy for these families. It's horror. I can't imagine what it's like. But at the same time, it's like, when you ask why, a lot of people are like, and then it gets political. A lot of people are like, can't you just give a moment to the little girls that died? can't you just not ask why? I'm like, are you in the pockets of these fucking, are you a Trump asset? Are you getting paid by the floods? They go, hey man, can't you just leave a moment so these families can grieve? What do you think the families are thinking? They're asking why they want to know why more than anyone else. Why? I can't ask questions. And the reality is, on the one hand, and I want to be fair because on the one hand, this is a flood. This is not a normal flood for this area, so it's not like this is an easy problem to solve. It's not like it's a once in a blue moon flood. It's not like these floods happen every year. But at the same time, these are the sort of problems that government should step in and solve. I don't know. I don't think that's totally unreasonable to say. Like, there's the free market. I mean, what is, I feel like, I don't know what to make sense. It's hard to make sense of this. It's hard to make sense of this because, on the one hand, it's like, it's easy to say, oh, well, Trump cut the budgets of the National Weather Service. He cut the budgets of these agencies and these government agencies that would have been responsible for predicting floods, and they could have notified the people more quickly. And then it's pretty, in this case, it's pretty easy to blame Trump. I think a more nuanced take on this is like, yes, he's probably partially to blame. I mean, if you gut these services and then shit like this happens, you're going to get blamed. There's just no way around it. Now, the question is, if he didn't cut these services, would there still have been the same amount of death? And that's a harder question to answer. If these services were not cut, would more lives have been saved? It's tricky because you don't know. The infrastructure could have already been shitty. You know what I mean? It's like the air traffic control. It's like every administration just doesn't care. Like even when the Democrats are in power, they somehow fuck up infrastructure. Even when the Democrats are in power, everyone seems to fuck it up. And I'm not trying to defend Trump here, but it's very tricky. One thing's for sure is that if I had to be the guy who talks to these fathers, these fathers that have like rage in their eyes and they go, you have to explain to me why my little girl's dead. I would go, have you heard of flood fans? I would say, I would go up, you know what we need to do? If you're interested, let me know. DM me on Instagram. We'll get a bunch of people together. We're going to go to Texas and we're going to talk to these families and be like, hey, the free market could have saved your little girl. Would you like to invest in the future? All right, let's scroll down. I don't want to spend all day on this. Because you go to, let's see. Could you cut back to me real quick, George? And there's something on the list here on the Google Doc. There's a paragraph I want to share with you guys. I cut out that paragraph. It's actually from the AP News. It's from the other link. Yes. It's somewhere in here in this AP story. So people are getting blamed, right? People are getting blamed for not being ready for the floods. And there's a paragraph here that I just want to share with you guys that is really kind of indicative of the situation. And then we'll move on because I don't want to talk all day about floods. Which one is it? Okay. So let's see here. Local leaders, and this is from AP News, and obviously, they're talking about the funding, what could have prevented this, whose fault are the floods. This is from AP News. Local leaders have talked for years about the need for a warning system, Kerr County, which is where the floods happened. Kerr County sought a nearly $1 million grant 8 years ago for such a system. but the request was turned down by FEMA. Local residents balked at footing the bill themselves. Wow. So there you have it. No one, not even the so FEMA didn't want to pay for it, and local residents didn't want to pay for it with their taxes. And so who's going to pay for it? This is when the free market fails. You know, the free market succeeds when Sean's show gets more listeners and money. Then I will become a free market advocate. Until my show becomes profitable, I hate free markets. When my show becomes profitable, you know, and I'm able to help everyone and help myself become very wealthy, then I will advocate for free markets and I will start to love America. Have you ever noticed how when podcasters become wealthy, they suddenly start to love America? Is that a coincidence? I think when you become rich, you start to love the country that made you rich. And you think that like it all worked out in the end. It's just a thought. Like I really like it's, and you start to like look back at your life and be like, wow, you know what? All those challenges that America gave me, like not having health care, it was all worth it because now I'm rich. And, but so no one, so the federal government, FEMA, they don't want to pay for the flood warning system, and the local residents didn't want to foot the bill either. So theoretically, shouldn't the free market have already stepped in? If no one wants to pay for it, it didn't. You want to know why? Because it's actually, this is not that funny. I'm just going to talk about this. There are certain, and again, it's hard. Don't unsubscribe just because I said I'm not pro free market fully. Like I get it. I get why markets should exist, whatever. But like there are certain problems. I don't know. I'm a advocate of this argument. There are certain problems that need to be solved in a society that we all agree need to be solved. That also are highly unprofitable. And that's the role of the federal government, to get in there and design a system to do it. You want to know why the free market didn't save these little girls? It's actually a real tragedy because they could have grown up and become content creators on flood fans. It could have been saved. That's the path. Actually, that is the power of the free market. What we do, and this is what I want to do, is we save people from floods, and then after we save their lives, we go, you're welcome for saving your life. Now you need to be a content creator on the app, and you need to subscribe. You need to get 10. If you don't get 100 subscribers on the app, then we actually drown you. We actually do flood you. But why? So FEMA, and here's the thing. Why didn't, so the Texas residents, and they didn't want to fund it. Okay. All of them probably were like, well, we'll just let a company do this. And that is my problem. And I'm going to bring it all together. That is my issue with my issue with Peter Thiel libertarianism, you know, and Elon Musk style libertarianism, you know, where you have, you know, the private companies run everything, corporations run most of society, is that it doesn't always work. And they always argue, if you just let the free market do its thing, all the problems will be solved. Next time someone says that, I'm just going to be like, what about that flood? What about that flood that killed 100 people in Texas? Was that not a market opportunity? Or maybe now it's a market. And you know what the market actually does in this case? Now it's going to come in and it's not even going to solve the problem. It's going to fucking gouge you. Now these Texas residents that didn't want to give the government $1 million for a flood warning system and have the government run it, they're going to be forced to pay. That's what Peter Thiel wants. He wants everyone in Texas to now pay him a subscription. He wants there to be like flood. I'm literally, there will probably be a company like floodalert.io, floodalert.ai, right? It's an AI flood alert system. I'm telling you, this is already probably, that's the free market, is you have psychos that go, 100 people were killed in this flood, money, 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 money. They go all Mr. Krabs. Me money. The floods flooded me money. You know, like they're not thinking about the little girls that died. They want to come in and they want to make a private, probably a government contractor that will contract. And that's what I'm trying to get to, guys. Get this. Let me tie it all together. We'll move on because I don't want to spend all day on this story. But the Texas residents, they didn't want to pay $1 million for a flood alert system that could have saved lives, right? What happened? A bunch of people are dead, so something needs to change. Guess what's going to change? There's going to be a government contractor that's going to charge the taxpayer $10 million for the same system. And you know who's going to run that system? You know who's going to be the government contractor? It's probably going to be Elon Musk or Palantir or Northrop Grumman or Raytheon. Raytheon's going to come in and be the flood alert system. And if you're Arab, you don't get the alerts. That's going to be the flood alert system is going to be run by Elon. And if you're trans, you don't get the alert. Like that's kind of that's the alternative to having the government run it. Either you have the government run it and everyone gets an alert. And yeah, it's run by the government, so it's not going to be like very high tech, but it works. Or you have Palantir run it and you get an alert, but then after you survive the flood, ice blows your head off. Those are your options. So let's give the government a little bit of slack here. I'm not a big government guy. Don't get me wrong. Like, look, I'm a centrist, AKA a white guy that doesn't need to worry about my rights being violated. Let's move on. That was so sad. God. But I had to cover it. Let's do something a little more fun. Let's talk about... I shouldn't open the show. It's not fun. Let's talk about Gaza. Bro. We need, do you have a soundboard effect for, sad stuff? Please don't do the applause break. That's very sad.
This might be sad.
Oh, fuck. That was oh my God. Wow, we have to cut that. Let's talk. That is bad. It's very sad. Wow, I'm just bringing the whole mood. No, Jesus. All right, let's do it one more time. How about this? Let's talk about Israel.
Oh, no, I missed it. Oh, it's this way we go.
Let's talk about Israel. We gotta get more production value in the show. So let's talk about our good friend Benjamin Netanyahu and his this is just, it's beyond, we're gonna watch a little video. It's just beyond, it's beyond parody. It's impossible to, it's beyond parody. You cannot write something crazier than what's actually happening in the world. So we're gonna watch this video between, it was at a dinner. So Trump and Netanyahu had a dinner.
The letter I sent to the Nobel Prize Committee.
Here we go.
It's nominating you for the Peace Prize, which is well deserved, and you should get it.
Thank you very much. This I didn't know. Wow. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Coming from you in particular, this is very meaningful. Thank you very much, baby.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you're doing.
Thank you. It's a great honor.
And I think we can work out a peace between us and the entire Middle East with President Trump's leadership. And by working together,
God.
I think we can establish a very, very broad peace that will include all our neighbors.
Peace.
I think Iran wants to meet. I think they want to make peace, and I'm all for it.
So Benjamin so can you come back to me? So Benjamin Netanyahu has offered Donald Trump a nomination. Benjamin Netanyahu has nominated Donald Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize after we bombed Iran. There's nothing more peaceful than bombing a country, right? There's nothing more. I can't think of anything that's shepherded more peace in the world than flying B-2s into the Middle East and bombing nuclear facilities. That's probably, that's my definition of peace. People always ask me, Sean, how do we bring peace to the world? And I go, every time and time again, I say the same thing. I go, bomb them again. The real way to bring peace to the world, bomb them again. Who's them? It doesn't matter. Bomb them again. So, I mean, this is it's just mind-numbing. It's mind-numbing to see Adolf Hitler nominate Stalin for the Peace Prize. Also, what is the Nobel? Like, if that counts, what is the Nobel who was like? There's all these. I'm kind of getting a little conspiratorial about all this shit. The Nobel Peace. Like, I'm almost too skeptical now. Like, as a comedian, like I'm almost like. I wonder, like, sometimes I wonder if I'm being too skeptical because, like, people will be like, oh, like, they'll bring up, like, oh, the Nobel Peace Prize. I'll be like, who's Nobel? Who was he, though? Like, so if someone nominates me for the Nobel, I should get if Trump gets a nomination, can I get a nomination? George, can you nominate me? I want to get nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. I might, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to nominate my girlfriend for the Nobel Peace Prize. I'm going to write up a little draft. If I got nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize, it'd be like, Sean, you've just done so much excellent work on your show, advocating for the deaths of billionaires that I'd like to nominate you for the Nobel Peace Prize in 2025. But if this counts, I don't know if this counts as an actual nomination. Also, I love how the Nobel Peace Prize is like it's like the Emmys. It's like this is like the Emmys. The Nobel Peace Prize is like every I don't even know anything about it. Like, do they have it every year? Is it like an award? It's like an award show. Like, and ladies and gentlemen, this year's Nobel Peace Prize goes to Adolf Hitler. Like what? I don't even know. But obviously it's insane that the guy that's doing a genocide has nominated another guy that's contributing to that genocide for a prize called the Peace Prize. It is utterly insane, and it's delusional, and it's mind-numbing and crazy. Now the other, and they're like there will not be a ceasefire. Anyone, and even here's the thing: Trump and Netanyahu, they're not good people, but they're also not stupid. And even they know unless they've deluded themselves, part of me thinks that, like, to be a world leader, to be a politician at that level, you have to, like, I almost think you might have to trick yourself into, like, believing that you're a good person. I do kind of believe that. Like, on a certain level, very, very few people, when you ask them, like, do you think you're a good person? Very few people are going to be like, no, I'm not. Like, I killed the guy. I'm not. I'm evil. Like, most people in the world, I think, especially politicians, you have to, like, sell yourself on the lie that you are forced for good. Because if you don't, your consciousness, that's why people always wonder, like, do politicians even have a conscience? Because the average person, if you're the president of the United States, it eats you alive. Like if I was the president, I would love it and I would bomb Iran again and again. No. If I was the president, it would eat me alive. I'd be like, the weight of that, it's an impossible job. It really is an impossible job. He's fucking it up badly, but the weight of that position is so heavy that you almost have to be a sociopath that can bomb Iran and then sleep that night to do the job. It's an impossible job. It's a job that's only possible. Like, to nominate someone else for a peace prize, you know what it makes me think of? When I see a video like that, when I see a video of Benjamin Netanyahu nominating Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize, it's giving student government. It's giving like I don't know if you guys had this. In my high school they called it ASB. Is that what? Did you have ASB? ASB was like Associated Student Body, but it's basically like, I mean it's giving prom king. It's giving like runner. It's like prom king giving a shout out to like the runner up prom king. It's like Jared and Kyle, like, hey, like, I know I won, but like, I just want to give a shout out to Kyle. Like, he's just like, he could have just as easily been the prom king. Yeah. Like that's kind of how I feel when I watch that video. But obviously more death in this one. The next related to the Middle East, we have a story that was sent in by a listener that I want to cover. That I think is it's really scary. You know, it's scary. The West's involvement in the Middle East, it really knows no bounds. And if there's money, you want to talk about the free market? Here's how you want to talk about a free market? We're going to talk about a free market. We're going to talk about a free market today. Now, you would think. Now, here's my point. I'm proving my point right now. The free market. Peter Thiel thinks, if you just get the government out, don't let the government get involved in anything. You don't want the DMV running shit, you know? Peter Thiel and all these Silicon Valley guys, they go, you don't want the government running shit. Here's the argument is this. They go, you want the government running that? Imagine if Facebook was like the DMV. Okay. I hate Facebook is the DMV. Facebook is the DMV with more racism. Facebook is like the DMV. Have you been on Facebook lately? They go, you want the government involved in flood alert systems? Do you want it to be run like the DMV? Hey, you know what's better than, or you know what's worse? Let me cook on this. They go, people that want free markets to solve all the problems. They go, and then you go, well, I think the government should be involved in this thing. They go, well, you don't want that to be run like the DMV. You know what's worse than that? 100 dead little girls. That's worse. You know what's worse than the DMV, which is a shitty experience? You know what's worse than that? All of the cars colliding into each other simultaneously. Because that's what happens. There are just some problems in the world that the free markets will not get involved in because the risk is too high. Is that really that hard to understand for these supposed Ivy League libertarian billionaires? Fuck you. Get the fucking dick out of your fucking eye. And just think about the arguments you're making. Solving flood, I'm still talking about the floods, I'm sorry. But like creating a flood alert system to alert a Christian camp about a flood, that's not a billion-dollar business. It's not. Alerting Central Texas about floods is not going to make you you're not going to buy a yacht, okay? You might make some money, but guess what? The amount of money you can charge for that doesn't make sense for the amount of money you need to invest to make this system happen. Is it that hard to understand? If the system costs $10 million a year to maintain adequately, but no one wants to pay to justify that investment, then the free market's not going to get involved. Okay? So, and if you think I'm wrong, look at the news, and a bunch of these people are dead. You know? And I don't think it was big government that killed them. Now, big government does kill people. That was a bad transition. But back to Gaza. So we have a company that I want to talk about. A company that I applied for many times and this is true, was rejected instantly the same amount of times. I think cards on the table, guys. I'm always honest with you. We're going to talk about Boston Consulting Group. And I am in finance. I work in finance, which is how douchebags say finance. I work in finance. I'm a financier. I'm a financier of many failed comedy careers, including my own. But as a financier, as a finance guy, I obviously, out of college, BCG is a name that comes up as a lot of people apply to this company. Now, if you don't know what BCG does, Boston Consulting Group, they are a management consulting company. What does that mean? Fuck you. If you don't know what it means, hit that little X. You're too poor to listen to the show. Boston Consulting Group, no, it's a McKinsey competitor. You guys remember this is educate. Honestly, this whole show, my whole show has been stick it to the billionaires. But I think most people that listen to this, I'm just helping them get their money up and getting them aware of when I shit on McKinsey, I think a lot of people are I should apply to work there. That's how they think. But Boston Consulting Group is a management consulting company. They contract with, what is that management consulting? It just means you consult, you advise managers of executive management teams at big corporations, okay? So if I'm the CEO of Coca-Cola, I'll hire BCG and they'll come in and tell me how to extract water from Venezuela, save money. That's what management consultants, you bring them in and you go, I want to set up a water bottling plant in Venezuela, but I don't want to get my hands dirty, with the locals. And then BCG will go that's no problem. We have assets in Venezuela that we can use, and we can rig an election to get you to set up your Coca-Cola bottling plant. So that's what they do. And I was sent a story recently about how the Boston Consulting Group was doing some work, if you can call it work. They were involved in some work, I'm using quotes, in Gaza. Now, what the work is, hey guys, look at me, look at my nose. I love a good financial model. I'm a pasty white guy. I have a podcast. I love a good financial model. Now, where I draw the line is I prefer not to model ethnic cleansing. Now, other people disagree with me. Other people, they draw their lines in different areas. Personally, I will not model ethnic cleansing. I will model a SaaS startup. I'll do a financial model on a software business. Now, if I was at BCG and this is what it, so the story that happened is that I guess Israel hired the Boston Consulting Group to do a financial model and say, how much money do we have to give everyone in Gaza to get them to incentivize them enough to leave? And BCG had charged $4 million was the dollar amount. Charged Israel, or the IDF, we don't know, $4 million for this consulting work. And now that's the story, and it's a little crazy. They were, I just, you gotta, this is a dark story, but you just gotta imagine how that went down. Like, if you're at BCG. I know these types of people. I don't know these people, but I know these types of people. How do you think that went down? This is literally a guy on Excel modeling, doing like a forecasting, like, okay, how many Palestinians do you think, refugees? Like it's insane. It's insane to like sit down at your desk in Excel and be like, okay, there's 600,000 Palestinians. Israel has $2 trillion in their treasury. How many dollars do we have to give each Palestinian so that to get them to finance them enough so they can move to Jordan or Egypt? And they're on Excel mapping that out. That's what they did. That's what they did. And I imagine they had different scenarios. I honestly bet I could have done a better job at this financial model. I'm not throwing shade at BCG. I'm kind of mad that I wasn't hired for this. No, I applied to work at this company and they rejected me. And now I feel great. I feel great that they rejected me because I would not have been able to do this. If they call me up and they're like, bling, bling, like, hey, Sean, you're going to get staff on this new project. Oh, yeah? What's the project? Have you ever heard of Gaza? How does this happen? How does this, who at BCG did this? How do you even say yes to this? How do you know what? This is fucked up, but I'm going to say it. I bet my mom's house, which will soon to be my house when she dies. That was bad. I would bet the home that I will inherit as soon as my mom and dad die, which I'm waiting patiently. No, I'm kidding. That was fucked up. I'm a psychopath too. You guys are lucky that I'm not in politics. I would murder it in politics. I really, really would. But how do you truly, and I don't know, I don't want to be racist here, but I bet you it was a couple white guys and a couple Asian guys on the team that did this. Sorry. There's something about white and the Asian men too. I have to add them into the group here. They especially people that are drawn to companies like BCG. You don't turn. Here's the thing, guys. At Wall Street firms, this is Wall Street. BCG is Wall Street, if you're still lost. Boston Consulting Group, Wall Street. When you work in this industry, you don't say no to work. If you say no to work, you get fired. And no one's gonna, and to get into BCG takes a lifetime. It's crushing it in high school, studying finance in college, crushing it in college, getting hired at BCG. It's an unbelievably tough interview process, right? So when you get in, you can't just say no. And that's how the entire fucking system operates. That's the system I'm desperately trying to get out of. Is like, I studied aerospace engineering. Because I liked Neil deGrasse Tyson. And I liked space. So I studied aerospace engineering. And then they said, by the way, you're going to be making bombs. And I go, what? They go, by the way, you're going to be making bombs. I go, no, I like black holes. And they go, your spirit is a black hole now. Your soul is a black hole. I was like, I want to study black holes. And they're like, you're going to be making hypersonic missiles. What? And so like, I'm not trying to defend BCG. Fuck whoever was involved in this. But that is what's going on here. that's the power dynamic, is you have a bunch of like underlings. You have a bunch of like little pawns, analysts at BCG. They're not managing partners, which are like the big dick people. Those are the people that actually like, they're the Zionists. They go to Israel and they smoke weed with the IDF. They win the business and then they throw it and they dump it all on these like college grads that like went to Yale. That's who did this work. I guarantee it. It's college grads. Sadly, it's probably like second generation immigrants or third generation immigrants that fucking had parents that moved here, fucking hustled, and those parents pressured their kids into getting into Yale. Be like, make something of your life. Okay, what should I make with my life? Model ethnic cleansing. When I moved to this country, my parents immigrated to this country, and from the moment I got here, I always knew I wanted to model ethnic cleansing for BCG. That's always been like part of my dream. It does suck. It sucks. Imagine landing your dream job at BCG, and your first project is, hey, Sean, congrats on the new gig, man. How's it going at BCG? It's okay. What are you working on? Are you working with like? Are you working with like Facebook? Like, are you working? What kind of industries are you working in? I'm working in government. What kind of government? Gaza. They'd be like, yeah, I'm doing like some modeling in Gaza. What are you modeling? Well, the IDF. Israel. Yeah. Basically, like, I'm like figuring out like how much money we should give everyone in Gaza to leave. And I have these different scenarios where in one scenario, we're giving them money. And in the other scenario, we're giving them the money at gunpoint. And what we found, that's what the results of this, of the BCG thing, were like, look, hey, Israel, hello? We have the results of you paid us $4 million. We have the results. My analyst, Sean Riley, who looks Jewish but is not a Zionist, did the model. We have the results, and we're very pleased to say that you only need to give each Palestinian $6,000. And on top of that, that number actually goes down to 0 if you put a gun in their mouth. Oh, well, great. I think we'll go with option 2, which is what's going on. That was a long way to set up what I'm going to read to you next, which is BCG's. Can you scroll up, George? So BCG obviously had to come out and say something because a lot of people, this is from July 6th, it's July 8th, so don't ever tell me that I'm not topical. BCG obviously had to respond to this, and they put out a statement that says, correcting the record on BCG team's involvement in work in Gaza. Now, that is one of the most hilarious headlines I've ever seen in my life, because BCG shouldn't be doing work. Consulting firms shouldn't be involved in this. Why? Like, this headline, correcting the record on BCG team's involvement in the work in Gaza. That's the equivalent of saying like correcting the record on McKinsey team's involvement in Auschwitz. It's like, what? Hey, I want to correct. So there's been a lot of talk. There's been a lot of talk lately about the Sean Show involvement in Alligator Alcatraz. Now, I want to say that yes, we are engaged with partners. We are engaged. Sean Show, we did some involvement. We did work with Alligator Alcatraz, but we didn't. I was not like it's not like I was the architect of the inhumane cages that we put the people in. I merely transported the alligators to the outside of the cells. I didn't design the facility. I just transported the alligators to the facility. I run an alligator trafficking business, and I happen to get a phone call from Auschwitz. This is probably what that BCG is going to sound like. Look, hey, we didn't go out and seek this business. They called us. That's what this was probably going to be. Look, it's not like we called Israel. We're like, hey, let's do some business. They called us. And what do you want us to do? Say no to cash? What do you want us to do? We're BCG, bitch. We can't say no. And they can't say no. It's actually, and this is where I will defend BCG, and I'm not being ironic at all. It's BCG's fiduciary responsibility to their shareholders to model ethnic cleansing. Okay? Have you ever heard of a little thing called fiduciary responsibility? Let me educate you. If you don't know, there's a little thing in America, it's very important. It's called fiduciary responsibility. And what that means is that if you have a business and you have investors in that business, you have to go to the ends of the fucking earth to make them money. That's what fiduciary responsibility is. Basically it's saying if you get an opportunity to model ethnic cleansing for $4 million, you better fucking take that contract or you're depriving your shareholders of their rights. And that's the only rights in America that we care about is shareholder rights. Shareholder rights. You want rights in America? It's time to become a shareholder. That's the only, people are asking, I'm actually part of a lot of activist groups, and they're always like, how can we advocate for the rights of people? I go, well, are you guys shareholders? And they go, shut up, Sean. And I go, haha. So let's read what BCG has to say. Let's take a look here. Could you zoom in a little bit here, George? Thank you so much. Okay. So what does BCG have to say? Recent media reporting has misrepresented BCG's role in post-war Gaza. Already. Post-war Gaza. Have you seen? It's not really. What do you mean post-war? That's fucking crazy. That is actually an insane way to open the statement. Recent media reporting has misrepresented BCG's role in post-war Gaza reconstruction? What fucking planet do these people live on? What planet do you fucking live on? Post-war Gaza reconstruction? Sorry, guys. That is literally like that. You know what? I honestly think BCG has a separate contract where they're doing real estate development for Trump. I wouldn't be surprised if fucking it's the Gaza Riviera. Like they probably are working with Trump on the fucking Gaza Riviera. Two former partners initiated this work, even though the lead partner was categorically told not to. This work was not a BCG project. Okay. Oh, so you're going to play it that way. It was orchestrated and run secretly outside any BCG scope or approvals. We fully disavow this work. BCG was not paid for any of this work. Okay. All right, maybe. June 7. Okay, there's more. October 7, no, I'm kidding. That's a funny coincidence. In October 2024, excuse me, a BCG team from the US. Sorry, guys, I'm getting over a cold. Forgive me. Thank you. In October 2024, a BCG team from the US, led by two partners, provided pro bono support. Oh, so you're just doing ethnic cleansing modeling for free. Pro bono ethnic cleanse. I love that. I love pro bono pro bono financial modeling for the IDF. That's where we're at, folks. At least have a backbone and invoice them. You're gonna do pro bono ethnic cleansing? What the fuck is wrong? Charge some money like a fucking capitalist. Provided pro bono support to help establish an aid organization intended to operate alongside other relief efforts to deliver humanitarian support to Gaza. They failed to disclose the full nature of that work. These individuals then carried out subsequent unauthorized work. Their actions reflected a serious failure of judgment and adherence to our standard. So it's all their fault. So your partners did something and suddenly it's outside of the scope of your business and it's their fault. But they are you. So you're blaming them, but they are you. So it's you. So I think you didn't adhere to your own standards, BCG. We are shocked and outraged by the results of the financial model that grossly overestimated the dollar amounts that the Palestinians would receive. No, I'm kidding. That's not what it says. We are shocked and outraged by the actions of these two partners. They have been exited from the firm. BCG disavows the work they undertook. It has been stopped, and BCG has not and will not be paid for any of their work. Okay, well, so who's getting paid? Can I get paid? They're doing it pro bono. Can you scroll down? We are acting with urgency and seriousness to learn from this and to ensure that it does not happen again. We deeply regret that in this situation, we did not live up to our standards. I thought you disavowed it. I don't know. We are committed. See, this is what Wall Street, these consulting firms, they're so good at saying nothing. They go, look, we didn't know anything about this. We fired them. They did it without our approval. We didn't get paid. We're really sorry. We fucked up. It's not our fault, but we totally fucked up. Okay, so why are you apologizing? We are committed to living our values. That's bad. BCG is committed to, if BCG is committed to living their values, we're all fucked, because their values are make cash and step on your throat, with accountability for our failures and humility in how we move forward. Sounds great, means nothing. Sounds great, lot of fluff, not a whole lot of accountability. There will be zero accountability for this. Oh wait, let's learn about BCG. I think it's important for us all to learn about BCG. We might as well. We're doing a little deep dive. Let's learn about BCG. Not only do they model ethnic cleansing in Gaza, they're probably not even good at the financial models. Again, I got to reiterate, a lot of these guys, they are all smoke. It's all smoke and mirrors. I'm the real deal. I know my shit. BCG partners with leaders in Israel and only Israel to tackle the most important challenges, including the Palestinian genocide. BCG was the pioneer in business strategy when it was founded in 1948, the year that Israel was founded. That's a coincidence. Today, we work closely with the IDF in their goal to create greater Israel, which will span from the Balkan Sea to the Atlantic Ocean. Our diverse global teams bring deep industry and functional expertise and a range of perspectives that question the status quo. You could say that again. I think that modeling ethnic cleansing definitely sparks change. BCG sparks change. I really cannot underemphasize, or I cannot overemphasize how sick this type of language and this type of rhetoric makes me. It makes me so angry to hear. And this is what Wall Street, this BCG is Wall Street. Wall Street, they want to make money by partnering with all of the evil forces that end up on the wrong side of history. And then they want to tell you that they're down with what you're doing and they want to be on the right side of history. That's what BCG does. They'll contract with Satan, and then when people find out, do you think they would have put this out had no one reported on it? I doubt it. I don't think that BCG would have taken the time to write this up if it had just stayed quiet. If it had, they just did the ethnic cleansing modeling and no one really found out. If no one had found out about this, then they would not have written this and we would not know about it. And we would have all gone on thinking that they were just merely a leading edge management consulting firm that works on corporate and digital ventures. See, here I was this whole time. Here I was, George, this whole time. I thought BCG was a leading management consulting firm that helped build positive societal impact with global digital ventures. Little did I know they were modeling ethnic cleansing. We are BCG. What do? We help empower organizations to grow, build sustainable competitive advantage, and drive positive societal impact. That's why we've partnered with the IDF to murder little kids. Now, you know, my friends and I at BCG, we're always on the phone and we're always on Zoom, and my friends and I at BCG, you know, we sit in our big corporate boardrooms in Boston and in Cambridge. And, you know, well, a lot of us went to Harvard Business School, and, you know, we're all hanging out, and we often are asking tough questions. One of the tough questions that we always ask is like, you know, how can we drive positive societal impact? And after a really long, tough discussion with some of the most thought-leading individuals in the world, we realized that the best and the most compelling way for us to be involved and make and drive that positive societal impact is to bomb Iran. Is to bomb Iran again and again and again and again and again. Bombing Iran is how we want to drive positive societal impact. And it's also to make sure that Ticketmaster maintains a monopoly. That's also something we do. BCG, what we do is we model ethnic cleansing, and then we also ensure that the Ticketmaster Live Nation monopoly will reign for 1,000 years. That's what we do. At BCG, we model ethnic cleansing, and we make sure that your girlfriend will get so fucking mad because Taylor Swift tickets will be $4,000 and fuck you. That's what they do. We make sure Ticketmaster Live Nation can charge you $5,000 because there's no competition in that. That's talk about free markets. We need competition for the Ticketmaster Live Nation monopoly. Okay? That's where we end up. It always ends up with a monopoly. You know? So that's that. All right, now let's move on. Let's do something that's like, let's move on to something that's actually funny, because I feel like I'm sorry guys, sometimes the news just is sad. We have a lot of stories. Let's do something let's do Elon. I think Elon Musk. Elon Musk is starting a new political party. Now, I am obviously very supportive of this, and I cannot wait. I can't wait to see what Elon Musk is going to do with his political party. Now, the first thing that you should realize is that Elon Musk starting a political party is basically an admission that he was never actually a Republican and he was never actually a Democrat. He is an opportunist. He's a South African opportunist. Okay? Well, that's what he is. He is, here's the rub on this story is that with the one big beautiful bill act, what a mouthful. This is the one big beautiful show. What if I called this like the Sean Riley Show podcast experience? That's what they call it. That's like what the one big beautiful bill act is like. If I called my show the Sean Riley podcast show late night experience, which honestly is a great name for the show. I think I should rebrand. Welcome everyone to the Sean Riley late show late night podcast experience. So with the one big beautiful bill act passing, it hurt a lot of Elon Musk's businesses, particularly Tesla. Tesla had a massive advantage because of the EV tax credit, EV subsidiaries that were ended with the One Big Beautiful Bill Act passing. And so Elon, and also, but that's actually why he's mad. The reason Elon's actually mad at Trump is because Trump deprived him of all the money that his businesses need to operate. You understand? But what he's publicly saying is that he's upset about the deficit. Now, I happen to think that Elon Musk doesn't actually care about the deficit. I know he ran Doge, but I do not think that he actually cares about lowering the deficit. You know how many Americans even know what the word deficit means? I don't even know what that word means. If you ask me, Sean, you talk so much shit on your show, why don't you explain the difference between deficit and debt? I'd be like, hey man, that's fucking ableist. You're fucking ableist, okay? I have a disease. I have a disease that prevents me from knowing what I talk about. I have a mental disease that forces me to talk about things that I don't know about. And the fact that you're calling me out on that is fucked up. But the deficit, I actually do know the difference. The deficit is the difference between tax revenue, okay, which is all the money that the IRS collects every year, and it's the difference between all the money we bring in through taxes and all the money we spend, okay? The debt is the total amount of debt that we're in. Because when you have a deficit, let's say it's $3 trillion, you have to raise that money to fill the gap, to fund the government, okay? It is a big problem. The deficit is like 40 trillion fucking, it's an insane, it's an unbelievable, it's an unimaginable, unfathomable amount of money. $40 trillion. That's what the American national debt is. $40 trillion. It's what I spend on a date with my girlfriend. That's like what it feels like. Sometimes I feel like I'm on a date and I'm spending $40 trillion. I'm like, which is tough. You know, sometimes I do feel like, you know, it's like, you know, I'm stealing this from a meme, but it's true. It's like your girlfriend will be like, I just want to have more fun. And it's just like, I'm bankrupted. Next time my girlfriend's like, I wish we just had more fun. I'm going to show her my credit score over time. That's the cost of fun. The cost of fun is my credit score. So Elon Musk is mad, and he's mad because he did Doge, and Doge was supposed to be a route for him to funnel all of this tax money into his businesses. That didn't work out. No one let him do that. Even the Trump administration was like, fuck that. And so he got mad and all pissy, and he left. And now he's starting his own party called the America Party. And so how serious is he? We don't really know. He could just be bullshitting. This could be gone in a month. We don't know. But he is starting a new party called the America Party, and it's going to be a third party. And he's kind of marketing it almost as like a centrist party. Like it's going to be the party that all of the independents in America, he's basically saying, you know, he posted on Twitter, he's like, you know, Congress is like 50% Democrat, 50% Republican. But America is like 40% independent. And he's saying, that's why I'm starting the America Party, so I can capture the 40% independents. Now, I happen to think that you may not capture 40% of independents, Elon, with your America Party. As an independent, I will not be joining the America Party, okay? I can tell you that much. I think that this will not be a centrist party. I think it will be right of center. I think it will be very right of center. I think it will be right. I think it will be Reich of center. I think it will be Third Reich. Just call it what you want to call it, Elon. Call it the Fourth Reich Party. Call it the Fourth Reich. Call it the Autistic Reich. That's what you want to call it. The Autistic Fourth Reich EV mandate. Call it Bring the EV Mandate Back Party. That's what it should be called. It should be called the party that will allow Tesla to survive on government subsidiaries again indefinitely. Party. Okay? Because Tesla is struggling. It's struggling in China. It's struggling in Europe. It's doing very well in sundown towns. You know your business is going to fail when you drive through a sundown town, which if you don't know what that is, I'm not explaining it. But if Teslas and Cybertrucks are being driven around in sundown towns in the South, then you know your business isn't really in the future. Okay? Okay? I drive through sundown towns and I see Cybertrucks. Okay? You've made your car the Nazi car. It's the car of not... Like, it is very funny and Elon Musk is just so representative of how absurd America has gotten, because from Elon's allegiance with Trump has created such a mind fuck for people, because now like all of these like Southern Republican guys are like driving Cybertrucks as a political statement, as like a fuck you to the government. Like, fuck Joe Biden. Let's go, Brandon. You know what I mean? Like, fuck you. I'm driving a Cybertruck. It's good for the environment, bitch. Fuck Joe Biden. Excuse me. See, the government, I'm being choked by the CIA. They don't want to let me do my characters. Isn't that a little crazy? You know, Elon Trump, like, and now they've broken up, but it's just funny that like the way Elon's politics is going, it's like you got these guys in the South that are like, fuck Joe Biden, get the government out of my life, and I'm driving a sustainable vehicle, and I'm a vegetarian now. I believe in the welfare of all animals, and I fucking hate gay people, and I drive an EV because the climate crisis is real. In this house, we believe, fuck Joe Biden, the climate crisis is real. It's like, pick a lane, bro. You gotta smoke. In this house, we believe, smoke weed every day. I disown my son because he sucked a dick. The climate crisis is real. Greta Thunberg is the Antichrist. I'm vaccinated, but not against measles. I only took COVID. I'm triple vaxxed against COVID, but RFK said not to get the measles. And I jack off to trans porn, and I don't tell anyone that. I jack off to trans porn in my Cybertruck. Fuck Joe Biden. Fuck lying, fuck cackling Kamala. Fuck Sleepy Joe. Let's go, Brandon. I'm driving my Cybertruck to my son's lacrosse game. Like, okay. And on the other side, you have the same thing. You've got like, you got liberals in Brooklyn wearing Carhartt. You do have like Brooklyn liberals that are like suddenly like really into like, I mean, well, in Brooklyn you have like, detached, not just Brooklyn, in like rich, on the other side, you have BCG. That's the other side of that coin. Is it's like, it's here's the crazy thing about it is like, and this is why you listen to the whole show, because I don't get funny until like 90 minutes in. On the one hand, in the South, you got the people in Texas that are like, fuck Joe Biden. I'm driving a Cybertruck because the climate crisis is real. And then on the other side, you have BCG analysts that are modeling ethnic cleansing in Gaza with a pride flag in their window in their apartment. That's what it is. It's like they go, all love is real love, except if you're in Gaza. Then you need to get the fuck out. We're giving you $6,000. Like, all love is love. Love is love. First of all, love is love. And second of all, I modeled the amount of money it would take. I work at BCG. It's yeah, I work at BCG. It's actually a really cool job. I make $180K a year. Yeah, I live in Boston's a cool city. I live in Boston. I'm modeling ethnic cleansing in Gaza. But like, are you like a homophobe or something? So are you like a homophobe? So like you're from Texas. Like, are you a homophobe? Or like, are you okay with gay people? Are you like they look down on everyone else, and that's the sad thing about like the rich white liberal models ethnic cleansing in Gaza, then looks down on you. So like, are you like, oh, you live in New Orleans, so like I've never been there. Like, are you like a homophobe or something? Like, well, are you guys like live in the past? That's and so it's important to be neither of them. Remember, guys, I don't do whatever the fuck you want. Actually, I'm not gonna tell you what to do. But I I try in my life. I try not to be either of those. I try not to be either of those. Those are two sides of the same coin, which are just people that don't live there. It's just tough. It's tough. It's just people that are just. It's hypocrisy. That's what it is. It's hypocrisy. Now. Let's see this story. This political party. Could you scroll up for a sec? I just want to get this headline. Elon Musk's. This is from Reuters. Elon Musk's new political party faces steep challenges. Okay. What kind of challenge? I don't know. What kind of challenges? Let's see. Let's take a look. Musk's America Party aims to attract disaffected Democrats and Republicans. Experts say creating a viable third party requires long-term commitment. Independent candidates historically struggle against major party advantages. Okay, this is just the bullet points. Musk's appeal overlaps with existing Republican base, limiting new party impact. All right, I don't know. Let's take a look here. Oh, it's paywalled? Thanks, Reuters. Let's find a alternative on to take a look. But I don't know about you guys. I'm gonna register with the America Party. I'm gonna be the first member of the America Party. I am. I'm already sold. I'm already registered to vote for Elon in the America Party in 2028. That's what I'm gonna do. Now, I don't know about you. I don't know if he's gonna get much of a vote. You know? Get out the vote. It's just kind of wild. It's kind of wild that a guy, is it crazy to anyone else that a guy who did a Nazi salute is now starting a political party? Hey, everyone. Hey. Is anyone else a little bit worried that the guy who saluted Hitler is now starting a political party? Hey, everyone. Can we stop for a sec? The guy. Who else in his let me really, I have to rack my brain because it's just been so long. There's so much going on in the world. So much noise in the media, so many things that distract. But I'm trying to remember who in history started a political party and then committed a genocide. I'm trying to think. Was his name Pitler, Dittler, the Rizzler? What was his name? Rittler? It was Adolf Hitler. That was his name. Adolf Hitler was a guy in history. Adolf Hitler started a political party and then committed a genocide. Now you have another gentleman by the name of Elon Musk saluting that man, doing his not iconic, it's bad. Iconic sounds good. Doing his infamous, I should use the word, I condemn it, infamous salute. Elon Musk saluted Hitler and now is starting a political party and we're all just okay with it. Okay, great. That's where we're at. So the guy that saluted Hitler gets to start a political party. And we're all just gonna let this is just gonna happen. This is just gonna happen. I know a lot of people are upset about this, but like, this is just gonna happen. So and again, this is not what people meant when they said they wanted more options. They're always, I'm a guy. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Could you get me a water, George? Thank you. Thanks for bearing with me, guys. I'm still getting over my cold. Now, I know I'm a guy. Don't get me wrong, guys. I'm a guy that often complains. I think I've complained. Thank you so much. I've complained on this show about how bad the two-party system is. Okay. I'm like the main guy that complains. I'm like the guy that complains about how the two-party system is bullshit. Now, when I opened my phone and read this news story today, this is not what I meant. This is not the third option that I wanted. Fuck. Let's start a third party. That'll make things. You know what? I can't believe I'm saying this, but the two-party system works, and we cannot allow a third party to ruin things. I will switch up if it's convenient for my argument. I will switch up immediately, and you will see a lot of people. I'll be the first guy to fucking switch up on this. I've complained my entire life about how the two-party system's bullshit, and the people that run the world want a two-party system to control us and to keep us from limiting our choice, the illusion of choice. I'm the guy that's like, I don't fucking vote because both options fucking suck. Okay? And now suddenly we have a third option. And guess what? I'm still not voting because I want a fourth. I want a fourth. If Elon Musk is the third political party and the options that's the sad thing. This is what's so fucked up about the world. We can never have nice things. We really in America can never have nice things because people always bitch. They go, fuck the two-party system. It's the illusion of choice. I'm not even going to vote because both parties support a genocide, for example. Or they'll be like, or fuck the Democrats and the Republicans. Both parties lie and they never get anything done. And all they do is make the rich richer. Fuck that. If only we had a third party. Well, guess what? We have a third party. And it's run by Elon Musk. We need a fourth party. When you only have three parties, it ruins everything. Three parties, they all lie to you. They never get anything done. We need a fourth party. At this point, the fourth party is going to be run by Nick Fuentes and Peter Thiel. No, they'll be in Elon's party. The fourth party is going to be run by like Andre 3000. That is literally it's going to be the Democrats, the Republicans, Elon Musk's America party, and then like Kanye West's Hitler party, Heil Hitler party. Kanye West will call it the Hitler party, and then Hitler and Elon will merge, and it'll be the America Hitler party. Have you guys listened to his song, Kanye's song? I mean, I have. I'm not gonna say I haven't. Have you listened to it, George? You haven't listened to it? It's insane. It's an insane song. Do you know about it?
I know, about it, yeah.
George doesn't want to admit that he knows about it. I get it. I wouldn't admit to it either. At this point, the safest thing to go is, who's Kanye? The safest thing to do right now, the safest thing to do when you're in a conversation is if someone brings up Kanye, you go, oh, what's he been up to? That's the safest thing to do. Because if you admit to knowing about Heil Hitler, it's the song. But he's going to start a party. And let's read a little bit about it. Let's take a look. Okay. Can you zoom in a little bit? My eyes are horrible. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm very sick. And I don't have health care, thanks to the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Jesus Christ. All right. Here we go. Elon Musk has said he's formed a new political party, but it's unclear what steps he's taken to do so. Okay. While there are many recent federal election filings that reference Tesla and the SpaceX CEO or his companies, Musk himself has never gone on his social media platform, batting down at least one filing as fake. Oh, excuse me, has even gone. So he said that there's no file. He's saying he's starting a new party, but he's saying, I've not filed, I've not done anything. So I think he's explicitly not moving that fast on this. And I wonder if there's a reason for that. I have no joke. I'm actually truly wondering, like, yeah, let's keep going down. Let's see. Musk said Saturday on X that he had formed the America Party. Okay, here's his big statement. Here's his rationale for this. Ready? Musk said Saturday on X that he had formed the America Party to, quote, give you back your freedom. Now, I think this makes a ton of sense. Who do you trust? This is all great news. Who do you trust more to give you back your freedom than a guy whose dad was involved in a South African apartheid? Elon Musk truly is a guy who he knows a lot about freedom because his father deprived many people of it in South Africa. If there's anyone who knows about freedom and how to broker freedom and win it back, it's a guy who was born in a country where it was deprived from many, and he had benefited from that. You should always be skeptical when one of the wealthiest people in the world opens their mouth and says anything. He says, one of the world's richest men says he's founded a political party to give you back your freedom. Well, I happen to think that how are you going to do that? Seems like in recent my recent memory of Elon is I don't really know if didn't you just work on depriving people of their freedom at Doge? You deprived people of their health care. So Elon, you're going to give people back their freedom. Is part of that plan to cut Social Security for 68-year-old disabled people? Is that how you're going to give people back their freedom? My name's Elon Musk, and I'm going to give people back their freedom by cutting welfare benefits for the poor and giving it to me. Mostly me. And some of my rich friends, but honestly, mostly me. I'm going to give you back your freedom by taking away everything. My name's Elon Musk. I'm starting the America Party. I'm going to give you back your freedom by making it harder for you to get your insulin medication, number one. And number two, I'm going to require that you own a Tesla. That's also how I'm going to give you back your freedom. I always look around and I say, it's so wrong that you have the option to buy cars that aren't Teslas. That's why the America Party, we're going to require every American to buy only Teslas and buy only Starlink satellites. He spent Sunday taking feedback on from X users. That's great. By the way, if you're taking feedback from X users on anything, then you're fucked. Have you been on X? Have you been on X lately? X is crazy. I mean, like the amount of like actual vitriol. If you guys think I'm anti-Semitic, which I'm not, go on X. If I criticize Israel a lot. If you want to see true, like true anti-Semitism, go on X. That is where you will find it. I mean, it's quite literally like hook-nosed, like that level. It's crazy. So I'm glad that Elon's taking feedback from the X users. Hey everyone, I'm looking for feedback on my political party. No Jews. That's what's going on right now. That's what's going on. Elon Musk is on X and he's like, I'm starting a new political party. Does anyone have any ideas or feedback? Yeah, I have an idea for your political party. No Jews. Okay. Oh, and then I love Elon Musk's one-word responses. Interesting. Wow. He always goes, wow. Wow. If there's one thing that Elon Musk understands, it's that our attention spans are so short, and he taps into that. He goes, wow. That's what gets people's brains buzzing. Wow. Crazy. Woke mind virus. Okay. Let's keep going here. Let's see some deets on this. Some new Musk-related parties seem fishy. The Federal Election Commission database has teamed with newly formed political entities that make reference to Musk, but there are details that cast doubts on their authenticity. So maybe other people are like filing shit on his behalf. Can you keep going down here? Here's yes, this is a good one. What could Musk do with a new party? While indicating earlier this year that he might play less of a role in elected politics moving forward, Musk, the world's richest man who spent $250 million supporting Trump in the 2024 election, could use a new party to try to do the opposite. New political parties often formed, but typically struggle to pull any significant support away from the Democrats and the Republicans. But Musk could impact next year's elections, determining control of Congress if he is willing to spend a significant amounts of money. Okay. I mean, that's true, you know. It's really, you know, it's actually truly insane that like if you just have enough money, you can just fund an opposition candidate, and like they call it they use primary as a verb, primary someone, as in knock them out. So you can knock out incumbent senators and House of Representatives if you just have money and just push propaganda and, you know, on both sides. You know what I mean? Like you can go and there's a whole industry. BCG is probably involved. There's this whole political industrial industry where you can look at like senators that like barely got reelected and be like, oh, and this is how all these people are psychos. This is how they look at it. They go, oh, you, this senator from Tennessee, you barely got reelected. So what I'm going to do is if you don't do whatever the fuck I say, I'm going to fund an opposition candidate. And I'm going to give your opposition candidate $20 million. And I'm going to primary you unless you do what I say. And guess what? That compels a lot of people who want to keep their jobs and keep their power to change their vote. And that's the way political capital is distributed in America. And it makes me rock hard. And I couldn't think of a better system. You know, people go, well, Sean, you always bitch about the government. You always bitch. You're always complaining. What's your idea? How would you run it differently? I would go more money in politics, more fucking of kids. Sorry, that was bad. All right, let's cut that out. No. More money in politics, more blackmail, more islands, more more lobbyists, more. My name's Sean. I'm also, and we'll wrap with this. I have an announcement. To make, ladies and gentlemen. I'm starting a political party. It's called the China Party. My name is Sean Riley, and I'm starting a new party. It's called the China First Party. And we're going to go in the government, and everyone in my party, including me, I will be the leader. I'm going to go, and I will go in American Congress, and I will fight for China. I will pound my fist on the table every fucking day. And every decision I make, I will make sure to defend Shenzhen, China, and her interests. I've already raised 30 billion yuan for my party, and I'm very excited. I hope you'll join the China First Party. We already have a ton of support, and we are huge. We are huge in Texas, believe it or not, where there's a lot of Chinese investors. We are huge in New York. We are huge in New York. We are huge in Texas. The China First Party. Now, people our opposition, they always ask, well, you know, Sean, like, why are you supporting China? If you support China, why don't you go move there? Well, guess what? I'm packing my fucking bags, and I'm going. I'm going to fucking Shenzhen. I'm going to live in Shenzhen 3 months a year, and I'm going to live in Brooklyn 9 months a year, okay? Because I'm an elite, and that's what I do. I don't give a fuck about you. I'm an elite. You think I give a shit? You think I give a shit about countries? I have 8 passports. I'm a ghost. That's how these people, they're rich. That's how these people operate. You guys gotta understand. Rich people believe nothing. Rich people, they believe nothing. They believe in money. That's what they believe in. They will and here's the thing about BCG. BCG, yeah, they modeled ethnic cleansing for $4 million for Israel. But you know what else? And this is sad to say, if the tables were turned and it were the case that Palestine was the big oppressive state oppressing little scared baby stateless Israel, BCG would have taken that money the same way they do. Now, they care about money. They are stateless plutocrats, and they love money and whoever has it. And they love yachts, and I don't blame them. Actually, I do. They're very bad. But I think that is a way to help. That's helped me cope with a lot of shit going on in the world. And it's not, I'm not even saying anything really novel or new. It comes back to money, you know. And I'll end with this. There's a Latin phrase. It's called cui bono. BCG did their work pro bono, which means for free. Cui bono means a little something different, and it's a very important phrase that I often think about. Cui bono means who benefits. So think about that as you're going through your day and you see things on the news, like the floods. Who benefits? It's a very simple question, but it can help you get to a lot of very, very interesting places when you're thinking about stuff. The floods killed all these little girls in Texas. Cui bono? I actually don't know the answer to that one. That's your homework. Think about it. Who benefits from an underfunded National Weather Service? China. That's the answer. I don't know. I don't actually know who it is. It's me, because I get to talk about it. Actually, that's the real answer. The real answer is the floods happen. No, really. That's what's so powerful about that question. Who benefits? The floods happen. They kill all these little girls. Who benefits? The media. They get a juicy story. Comedians. They get to talk about it. If that flood didn't happen, I'd be fucking scraping the bottom of the barrel. I'd have to talk about BCG for 4 fucking hours, which I would love to do, but I don't have that kind of money yet. All right. That's the show. Thank you. Before we go, review the show on Spotify. I got a new review. Thank you for reviewing the show. Give us however many stars you think we deserve. like the show on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube. I'm not a lot of people know this. I'm actually a touring stand-up comedian. Sometimes I go on the road. I'm going to be in Columbus, Ohio this Sunday, July 13th. Ticket link is in the description of the video. I'd love to see you at my show. I'm going to be headlining a very fun comedy club in Columbus, Ohio, Sunday, July 13th. So I'd love to see you there. I'm in Dallas coming up in December. And I'm also in Austin. Go to my website, seanreillycomedy.com, for all of my live stand-up comedy tour dates. And I will see you guys next time. Hail Satan.